Yo, what's up, everybody? This is Triple Beam, and I am back with another video. And in this video, I'm talking about the top five greatest Super Bowl teams of all time. As you know, the stage is set for the one of the most anticipated Super Bowl matchups in recent memory. The New England Patriots is facing off against the Seattle Seahawks. And fans are reflecting on the rich legacy of the NFL's biggest game. The Super Bowl isn't just a championship, it's a showcase of football excellence where dynasties are built, legends are born, and throughout more than 5 decades of Super Bowls, because we're right here on the cusp of Super Bowl 60, either through dominant regular seasons, unforgettable playoff runs, and unforgettable moments on the sport's grandest stage. With that in mind, let's take a look back at my top five Super Bowl teams of all time. Lineups that reached the ultimate game and did so with style, dominance, and impact that still echo throughout NFL history, guys. Now, before we get into this, hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the follow button. And without further ado, here we go, my top five. Number five. And I know a lot of people, y'all might disagree with my list. Put your own list in the comments. Let me know where I fuck up at. But number five, in my opinion, the greatest Super Bowl team of all time. Hey, and when I say this, y'all, I know a lot of people will disagree. But when I say this, I'm gonna have a caveat for y'all. Okay, number five is the 2013 Seattle Seahawks. That's the top five greatest Super Bowl team of all time. And so I want y'all to think about it. You got Pete Carroll as the head coach, Dan Quinn, the defensive coordinator. Okay, they was 13-3 that season. First in the NFC West. Okay, they beat the Saints 23-15 in the divisional round. They beat the 49ers 23-17 in the NFC Championship, and they blew the Broncos out 43-8 to get that Super Bowl ring. Listen to some of the all pros they had on that team. Richard Sherman. Okay, this is that defense that they had. And listen, this is what New England is going to be up against tomorrow. Okay, that defense. Okay, and that 12th man of Seattle. You had Richard Sherman, Earl Thomas, Cam Chancellor. Okay, these are the all pros on that team. Three all pro defensive players on that team, all in the secondary for Seattle. And they also had six other Pro Bowlers on that team. The quarterback, Russell Wilson. At that time, Russell was the second black quarterback to ever win the Super Bowl. The first was Doug Williams in I think it was '88 with the Washington Redskins. Doug Williams. Okay, we know that. Russell Wilson, Marshawn Lynch, Max Unger was all pro on that team that year. The Seahawks, they were 13-3 that season under Pete Carroll. And we know what that team was able to do. They was just absolutely dominant that whole season. They came back to repeat. We know what happened in that repeat. But I think this and that team really that lost to New England in the Super Bowl. Okay, when they had it at the 1 yard line, they could have gave it to Marshawn Lynch, the future Hall of Fame running back. It would have been a done dollar. That would have been another notch on the belt of Pete Carroll, Seattle, and on Russell Wilson to make his case to be a Hall of Famer. You know what I'm saying? And This is what I want to say. This is the caveat that I want to put in while I was talking about the Seattle Seahawks, the 2013 Super Bowl winning team. Russell Wilson was an all-pro that year. Okay, he was the quarterback of a top five all-time Super Bowl team. I think that deserves consideration for Hall of Fame, in my opinion. So, Russell, shout out. You got to hit thumbs up on this if you see it, because I'm giving you props. Well, a lot of people ain't giving you props, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, number 5 on the list is the 2013 Seattle Seahawks. Okay, number 4 on the list is the 1989 San Francisco 49ers. When we talk about the San Francisco 49ers in that time, we know that they were really, like, basically second to none. San Francisco was the standard. Everybody in NFC was hunting down San Francisco. You know, you had them boys, Jerry Rice, okay, from Mississippi up the road, Valley State, Jerry Rice, Joe Montana, Cool Joe, the greatest quarterback to ever play the game, in my opinion. Joe Montana. Sorry, Tom Brady. I know you said you didn't have a dog in the fight. You ain't got a dog in this fight. Joe Montana is the greatest quarterback to ever live. Um, Head coach George Seifert, Mike Holmgren was the offense coordinator at the time. Back then, it wasn't Levi Stadium. It wasn't. I don't know what the stadium is that San Francisco playing in now. What's the name of the stadium? But back then, it was the legendary Candlestick Park. We understand that in the football field, they had the baseball diamond out there. That's what they was playing on, bro. The shit was lit. This team went 14-2. They was first in the NFC West. In the divisional round, they beat the Vikings 41-13. Okay, they went to the NFC Championship and they blew the Rams out 30-3. And then they put up 55 points against the Broncos in that Super Bowl to win 55-10. That team had 8 all-pro players. Their quarterback, Joe Montana, Roger Craig, salute to Roger Craig. He was just inducted into this year's 2026 Hall of Fame, in my opinion. People talking about Roger Craig should have been left off for somebody like Bill Belichick or Robert Kraft. I listen. Hell no. When we look at that 2026 class of inductees, Roger Craig wasn't the one that stood out who should have been left off. It was Luke Kuechly. Luke Kuechly should have been left off for maybe somebody like Bill Belichick, in my opinion. Okay, but that's neither here nor there. We're talking about the top 5 Super Bowl teams of all time, and it's number 4, the San Francisco 49ers. Joe Montana, Roger Craig, Jerry Rice, John Taylor. These are your Pro Bowl, all pros on this team. Mike Walter, the linebacker. Don Griffin, the safety. And we know what Running Lott brought to the table. If you come across the middle, Running Lott, break your face. Running Lott was the type of guy, and people will tell this story. They said Running Lott was like, I think he dislocated his finger or something in a play and went to the sideline. He was like, man, cut it off. He told the trainers, cut his finger off so he can go back out there on the field, okay, and hit some more. Okay, and the kicker, Mike Coffer, all pros for the 49ers that year. You also had Pro Bowler Guy McIntyre, a guard, also on that 89 San Francisco 49ers team, which is number 4 on my list of the top 5 Super Bowl teams of all time. Up next, number 3 is the 1972 undefeated, by the way, Miami Dolphins. Okay, Don Shula, the head coach, obviously legendary head coach Don Shula. This team went 14-0, okay, and won the Super Bowl. We had another great team who probably would have made the list if they had won it all, and that was the New England Patriots. They went undefeated, but they went to the Super Bowl and they lost the undefeated season to the New York Giants. Okay, now I would have put that team on the list. Now people are like, why New England ain't on the list? New England is not on the list because that New England team that went undefeated didn't win the Super Bowl. Well, New England won Super Bowls, yes, but the teams that won the Super Bowl for New England was not the best team that New England had. That undefeated team was their best team, even though they didn't win the Super Bowl. In my opinion, I think they was the best team. That's why they're not on the list. But nonetheless, the 72 Dolphins, 14-0. They finished first in the AFC East. Um, they won the division round against the Browns 20-14. Okay, they beat the Steelers in the AFC Championship game 21-7, and they went on to beat the Washington Redskins 14-7 in the Super Bowl, and they finished that season. And I think that is the only undefeated team ever in in the NFL history. They had 4 All Pros on that team. The safety Dick Anderson, quarterback Earl Morrell, okay, guard Larry Little, defensive end Bill Stanfield. They had other Pro Bowlers on that team. Linebacker Dick Bowie Conti, uh, Larry Konska, Norm Evans, Mercury Morris, Jake Scott, Bill Stanfield, and wide receiver Paul Warfield. And we know about Mercury Morris. RIP to him. He was the advocate for that Miami. Like, he was the spokesperson. He went everywhere bragging about that team and know how nobody could touch that team. And the Patriots, they were kind of on the cusp of trying to overshadow what they did, but they fell short in the Super Bowl. Um, but Mercury Morris, he lived his whole life pretty much after football, holding his hat on that undefeated season for the Miami Dolphins. And to this day, they are the only undefeated team in NFL history, and that is the 72 Miami Dolphins is uh number 3. My top 2 team of my top 5 Super Bowl teams of all time, guys, it goes to none other than the 1993 Dallas Cowboys. Listen, the Cowboys, look, them boys, bro. I'm gonna tell you, man, when Coach Jimmy put this team together, bro, with North Turner, the offense coordinator, obviously Jerry Jones, the owner, general manager, this team. And they finished the regular season at 12-4, but they were first in the East. Okay, but this team, bro, when you look at the players that was on this team, you cannot fuck with these guys, bro. I'm telling you, it really made this is why they call Dallas Cowboys the America's team. With this roster, this lineup, okay. And I almost didn't put them on there because I thought, okay, when Prime came and they won in 90, I think it was 96, I thought that would have made them a much better team. But Prime came, when he came along, the team was already solidified. You know what I'm saying? They just needed Prime to get over that hump of the 49ers after Jimmy had left. But if Jimmy had stayed as the head coach, they probably wouldn't have never even needed to go and get Prime. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, this team, bro, they won the divisional playoffs against the Packers 27-17. Okay, then the NFC Championship game, they beat the 49ers, okay, with Jerry Rice, Joe Montana, the greatest quarterback to ever live, 38-21. Then they beat the Bills in the Super Bowl, and the Bills, they were just dominant in AFC for that whole season. And what the Cowboys was able to do against them in the Super Bowl, it was crushing. They beat them 30-13 in the Super Bowl. And let me give you a list of the Pro Bowlers that was a part of that team, that Dallas Cowboys 93 Super Bowl winning team. Troy Aikman, Michael Irvin, Emmitt Smith, Daryl Johnston, Jay Novacek, Eric Williams, Nate Newton, RIP, Mark Stepnoski, Russell Maryland, Ken Norton Jr., and Thomas Everett. Bro, Listen to the names that I just called out, bro. These are all Hall of Famers, in my opinion. Troy Aikman, Mike, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 Pro Bowlers on their team, bro. This was the standard, bro. This was the best team that I think that one of obviously, I'm telling you, it's top five. Okay, and I was pulling teeth. I was pulling teeth to be like, okay, can I put them at number one? That's how much respect I have for this team. But the Dallas Cowboys, man, under Jimmy Johnson, okay, in '93 with Troy, Michael, Emmett, and those boys, bro, they are number two, okay, top five Super Bowl teams of all time. Now, and I already know if you're listening, you already know who number one is by now. You should know because you can't have a top five list without this team being somewhere in the mix. And since I had mentioned them already, you know that they number one. And that is the 1985 Monsters of the Midway. The 1985 Chicago Bears is the greatest Super Bowl winning team of all time. Head coach Mike Ditka, defensive coordinator Buddy Ryan, of course, Soldier Field. The record, okay, 15-1 for the entire season for this team. First in the NFC Central Division. Okay, they beat the Giants 21-0 in the divisional round. Like, get out of here. Bye. 21-0. They beat the Rams in the NFC Championship game 24-0. Pack your ass up, get the fuck out of here. And then in the Super Bowl, they beat the Patriots 46-10 to win the Super Bowl. We're not here to start no trouble. We're just here for the Super Bowl shuffle. They recorded a whole song before the Super Bowl. They did this shit like in what, week 15 or some shit? And they recorded a whole song talking about the Super Bowl and then went out there and they backed that shit up, bro. Let me tell y'all something about these players that's on this team, man. Walter Payton. Okay, this is all pro. And not to even mention, you know what I'm saying? Matt Mann is at the quarterback position. He wasn't even all pro, but he was just one of those guys, bro, who understood the game. He was tough. You know what I'm saying? He knew where to go with the football. He knew the game where him and Dicker would get into little back and forths about play calling. Like Dicker would call a play. I think this was the first time, probably. I ain't gonna say it's the first time. I think, but this is the first time where I heard where the quarterback would just change the play. And Walter Payton would tell him, like, keep doing what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Because they was winning. All pro, Walter Payton, Jimbo Covert, Jay Hillenberg, Dan Hampton, Steve McMichael, Richard Dent, Otis Wilson, Mike Singletary, Gary Fennick, Kevin Butler, the kicker. These are your all pros on this team. Let me tell you something, bro. You cannot find a better defense than the defense of the 1985 Chicago Bears. It's just not going to happen. You're not going to find it. Pro Bowler, Jim McMahon was a Pro Bowler. Dave Durson, Pro Bowler. Mike Singletary. I said Otis Wilson already. Okay, and not to even mention Refrigerator Perry. These guys, bro. This was the greatest team, the greatest Super Bowl winning team of all time. The 1985 Chicago Bears. So yeah, that's my top five. Let me know what you think about that top five. If you have a different top five, just put it in the comments. Let me know. Let me know if I left a team out that should have been there. But, bro, I think I pretty much got it summed up, bro. The 2013 Seattle Seahawks, 1989 San Francisco 49ers, the 1972 Miami Dolphins, the 1993 Dallas Cowboys, the 1985 Chicago Bears. Those are my top 5 Super Bowl winning teams of all time. Guys, let me know what you think about this. Put it down in the comments. Hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the follow button. Until next time, Triple Beam, I am out. Peace.